Welcome to this, which is a pilot project, Canadian Society of Safety Engineering Alberta, a leadership development program. The long-term vision, or at least my long-term vision, is to create a leadership development program that can be offered across Canada in all the 36 chapters and make the content and programming available to members that are interested in their own leadership development. So where this idea of this really came to me was that when I look at what's happening from a safety side of things, is we have some problems in the way things are working. And I use this little incident that happened in Alberta a few years ago where every single day a worker died. When you look at companies' management systems, the largest majority of them have good management systems. And yet the statistics from a fatality point of view and a disabling injury point of view would suggest we're not doing a better job. And it really struck me, this particular incident, this particular week, where it's usually every other day a worker dies. And in this particular day it was 5 workers in 5 days, all from acute incidents. There's a lack of pure leadership in companies. And that lack of pure leadership leads to inefficiencies for sure. But the part that really caught my attention is it manifests itself as serious incidents, disabling incidents, and fatalities. It doesn't matter if you're at a director level or a vice president level or a field safety advisor level. There's a leadership opportunity for you to intersect and interact with the management system, the internal responsibility system, to have great effect. And so I think this leadership development concept would be great for succession planning, whether it's within your companies. I think it would be great for career planning as a part of your career development. And I think from CSSE's point of view, there's an opportunity that if we were to run groups like this in 5 or 6 major centers and having 100 people come through formalized leadership development, sort of self-reflection and trying to find that inner leader, surely our association would be that much stronger as well. And what you find with leadership development is something that nobody gets around to. You know, we do technical development. You know, we'll take courses on accident investigation and taproot and all the sort of hard science kinds of things. But we're more reluctant to say, I'm going to spend some time and develop myself and my capacity to help others. Because that's really what leadership's about. Leadership's about developing your capacity to help others and lift them up. If we're going to develop as a community, and they're talking about the university community, people have to know themselves. They have to develop their capacity to communicate and interact with each other. And they have to understand the community and what their place is within the community. And I thought the model is perfect for all of us in our jobs. First step is to know yourself. The second step is to develop your capacity to communicate one-to-one in small groups, build consensus, create influence, look for advocates, build advocates. And then the third part is you have to know your organization, whether it's your company you work in. You know, do you know the org chart of your company, and do you know where you fit, and where is your capacity to create influence? So part 1 is it's all about you. Do you know yourself? To thine own self be true. Later on in the second step, it's all going to be about consensus building and communication and talking to others and building your brand, the corporate brand, building plans and creating influence. The third part is about organizations. Do you understand your organization? The ability to recognize those strengths and weaknesses within your governance model is important if you're going to have influence. And then the fourth part of our program is leadership in action, where people are going to take all the tools, hopefully, and put it into action. And my view is if we get good at it, there's so many win-win-wins that if it was to really spread, we may actually get better at helping our companies build stronger systems so fewer workers are injured. So the way the program works is the 4 steps. We've currently got it laid out to run over a 2-year program. And so there will be 4 one-day sessions like this. And in between those, there will be readings and video and recorded lectures. There will be opportunities for you to collaborate We're going to work on something called journaling. And so the idea also that it's run over 2 years, we could compress this into a 4-day session and be done with it. But the truth is that leadership development is a developmental process that takes time. Otherwise, we'd run a 4-day course and everyone would be great leaders and the whole world would be a better place. And the truth is that it's an evolution in thinking. It's a developmental capacity. And it's a practice. And that's why we've run it over a 2-year period. Really what we're going to do in this program is expose you to many very basic theories of leadership. And the parts that stick with you will be different than stick with other people. There's no right answer and there's no easy way to do it. It's about exposing you to a bunch of content, giving you an opportunity to think about it, recognizing your strengths and figuring out what your organization is, and to see how you can create influence. We're going to bring in some guest speakers from either U of C or U of A's leadership development program, and so bring a depth and richness to the programming. It's not about attending one day, it's about attending and participating over that longer period of time. It's over the longer period of time that I think really the results that we're looking for are actually possible. To me, it's like yoga. It's a practice. There's no real destination. And what we're trying to do is prime groups of people into the practice of leadership, hopefully that they will continue on their leadership development long after this and be able to serve the community. We will be continuing to review your vision of leadership. And so at the end of this process, we want you to revisit this and along the way. And hopefully at the end of this process, you will have your own definition. This process is put together in a stepwise evolution. Know yourself, know others, know the organization, and get out there and do it. There's no end point to it. It's really a practice of a capacity. Leaders see a job or task that needs to get done, and they do it even though there's a good chance someone else will get credit for it. So I present this model of safety. Safe work happens when you've got control in the environment. It's very simply. And you achieve that if you've got a competent workforce, a good work plan, and good communication. But those three things, without a layering of leadership to drive the process, won't work. And so the fourth dimension of this is the leadership piece. Because companies can have competency development. They can have good work planning, hazard assessment, and the like. They can have strong communication skills, but it's the absence of leadership that takes control out of the workplace, and it's the absence of leadership that creates risk. A strong leader will actually try to find people that can replace them. That's an interesting idea. That's contrary to maybe our self-preservation thinking. But in fact, that's what leadership is, because the truth is there'll always be some other opportunity for you. Great leaders are very inclusive. They have a way of bringing people in even when they are not at the moment defined as being part of the organization. This type of program will be extended to people beyond CSSE to try to bring value. The capacity to lead is closely related to the capacity to build trust. And so we need to figure that out. If you're going to lead a group, you've got to develop trust in that group, because you're going to ask them to do some things that they may not be comfortable doing. And they've got to trust in your vision for the future. So the capacity to know yourself is related to your capacity to alter your leadership style. And so the three factors that I think influence what leadership style is appropriate is going to be your background, who you are, where you came from, what you know, who are the people you're dealing with, and what's your connection to them, and then the organization themselves, this idea of traditions, values, and philosophy. And so this is very much linked to, this idea of varying your leadership style is very much linked to the structure of the whole program we're presenting. As the competency in the influence group rises, we adjust our leadership style to a tutoring, coaching, and ultimately mentoring type of style. Leaders are change agents. They envision and they engage, they enable, they energize, they empower people. And they have vision, values for change. There's got to be something better about the way your company does things tomorrow. Isn't there? Isn't there something better you could be doing? How are you going to drive change? How are you going to articulate the vision? Where are you going to have to push on the system to get it to move we are really looking for a leadership solution, and yet people revert back into their management thinking, saying we will continue to do it this way. And we need to look for the opportunities to say, what is a different way to do it? What is a change that we could try? Where's the opportunity for a new and different ways? So thanks for your attention. That's what our sort of desired end goal with the programming is.